Izzy's Adventure is an adventure game that was released for PC in 1996, featuring Izzy, the beloved mascot of the Atlanta 1996 Summer Olympics. The game was developed and published by British company US Gold. In the years leading up to the 1996 Olympics, the Atlanta Committee for the Olympic Games embarked on an extensive multimedia campaign centered around Izzy. This campaign included the release of the widely known video game Izzy's Quest for the Olympic Rings for the SNES and Sega Genesis consoles, as well as an animated TV movie called Izzy's Quest for Olympic Gold. Amongst these well-known endeavors, Izzy's Adventure emerged as a lesser-known project based on the character. It was described as an adventure game, and it tasked players with guiding Izzy through various rooms in search of medals, which were accompanied by informative snippets about the Olympics. A short gameplay video of Izzy's Adventure has been uploaded on YouTube by a user named Lyco Studios in 2014. For a period of time, the game remained lost and inaccessible until Diekate, the owner of Lost Media Wiki, discovered a copy and made it available to the public on September 8, 2015 as part of Found Media Week. In 2017, Kevin Spacey took on the lead role in an upcoming Netflix film called Gore, which was centered around the life of renowned American writer, screenwriter, and public figure Gore Vidal. The movie aimed to depict Vidal's journey and accomplishments, including the groundbreaking novel Myra Breckenridge, which explored the experiences of a transgender woman and was considered a significant literary work. Unlike previous documentaries about Vidal, this film would be a feature-length production set in Italy. However, the release of the film was later cancelled due to the emergence of multiple allegations against Kevin Spacey. As more allegations came to light, Netflix announced on November 3, 2017 that they were cutting ties with Spacey and cancelling all projects involving the actor, including the popular series House of Cards and Gore. The decision was made amidst the rising #MeToo movement, which aimed to expose and address sexual misconduct in various industries. As of now, there is no available footage or substantial online material related to the film aside from a few limited photos. Netflix reportedly suffered a loss of $39 million due to the cancellation of Gore. With no distribution company currently attached to the project, its release in the foreseeable future seems highly unlikely. Nevertheless, many of the actors involved expressed a desire to see the film released, not as a means of supporting Spacey's actions, but to appreciate the artistic vision that had initially motivated its creation. Dinosaur Planet was initially intended to be the final game developed by Rare Software for the Nintendo 64 console. The game was unveiled at the E3 2000 trade show before undergoing significant changes and transforming into Star Fox Adventures, which was ultimately released for the GameCube in 2002. Dinosaur Planet offered players an action-adventure experience set in a world inhabited by dinosaurs and reptilian creatures. The gameplay revolved around two main characters, Saber and Crystal. Both characters were fully playable and had their own sidekicks and unique abilities. Players could switch between them by utilizing swap stones located within the game. Development of Dinosaur Planet commenced after the release of Diddy Kong Racing in 1997. About a year into development, Rare created a demo, which generated positive reception when showcased at E3 2000. During their visit to Los Angeles for E3 2000, the developers were informed of a meeting with Nintendo to discuss the demo. Nintendo of Japan expressed great enthusiasm for the game and proposed merging the Dinosaur Planet and Star Fox franchises. Rare ended up agreeing, leading to collaboration with Nintendo designer Shigeru Miyamoto. Together they worked on game design and a new storyline to incorporate the Star Fox elements, resulting in significant changes to the game's content. The project transitioned to the GameCube, initially planned as a launch title. However, it faced delays due to issues related to longer loading times on disc compared to cartridges, and difficulties with the AI for Tricky, which was the dinosaur companion. Throughout the transition, Saber's character was transformed into Fox McCloud, and Crystal's role was diminished, controversially shifting her into a damsel in distress role. Several scenes were removed and the final boss fight was cut. Nevertheless, some information within the game files provides insights into the original plans for Dinosaur Planet. When Star Fox Adventures was eventually released in 2002, it received favorable reviews from critics but garnered mixed reactions from fans of the Star Fox franchise. The game was praised for its detailed visuals and its gameplay inspired by the Legend of Zelda series. However, common judgment included the absence of the franchise's signature shoot-'em-up gameplay and the perceived weak voice acting. On February 20th, 2021, Forest of Illusion announced the public release of a build of Dinosaur Planet. The leak was made possible through the acquisition of a CD-ROM containing the game from a Swedish video game collector. The leaked build dates back to December 1st, 2000, representing a late version of the game shortly after its transformation into Star Fox Adventures. The Batman is a superhero film released in 2022 helmed by director and co-writer Matt Reeves and starring Robert Pattinson as Batman. Although the movie exists outside of DC's main film universe, this was not always the intended plan. Initially, when the film was announced, it was intended to be part of the DCEU. with Ben Affleck attached as director, producer, co-writer, and starred in the movie. A script for this version was completed but was never made public. The announcement of a standalone film featuring Ben Affleck as Batman was made in October 2014. Ben entered negotiations to co-write and direct the screenplay alongside comic book writer Jeff Johns in July 2015. By March 2016, Ben and Johns had finished the final draft of the script. This version of the story was mostly original and drew inspiration from various sources, including the graphic novel Arkham Asylum: A Serious House on Serious Earth, the comic book storyline Nightfall, and the video game Batman: Arkham Asylum. The film was primarily set in Arkham Asylum and aimed to explore the death of Batman's first Robin, Dick Grayson. The following month, Ben was confirmed to direct the film. However, in January 2017, Chris Terrio delivered a rewrite of Ben and John's script, and Ben announced that he would step down as director the same month. Ben made this decision as he was unable to bring the script to the level he wanted to. In February 2017, Matt Reeves was brought in as the replacement director. After reviewing a copy of Ben's script provided by Warner Bros., Reeves decided to start fresh and rewrite the film entirely, stating that Ben's vision was totally valid but not aligned with the film he wanted to create. Warner Bros. And DC Studios have shown no interest in releasing the script for Ben's version of the film. However, through interviews with actors of the movie, several plot details have emerged. Additionally, in 2022, Keith Christensen shared concept art he created for Ben's version of the film on his Instagram and ArtStation. Jay Oliva also tweeted a storyboard featuring Deathstroke during the same year. Die Hard 64 was an unreleased first-person shooter video game based on the popular Die Hard film franchise. It was developed by British studio Bit Studios and planned for release on the Nintendo 64 console. The game was in development between 1999 and 2000 and intended to be published by Fox Interactive. Before their collaboration on Die Hard 64, Bit Studios had a strong partnership with Nintendo, having primarily developed games exclusively for Nintendo platforms. Nintendo even published some of their titles such as R-Type DX and Warlocked. Under their agreement with Nintendo, Bit Studios was contracted to create 3 games for the Nintendo 64. These games were Rika, a military-themed shooter, Thieves World, a stealth-based heist game, and Die Hard 64, which is a first-person shooter. Originally, Die Hard 64 started out as an original concept called Muzzle Velocity, where players would control a SWAT team member named Jack tasked with combating a crime wave in Los Angeles. However, after partnering with Fox Interactive, Bit Studios was required to base the game on one of Fox's films. Initially, it was planned to be based on Speed 2 Cruise Control, but due to the film's poor performance, the decision was made to switch the focus to the Die Hard franchise, inspired by the success of the multi-platform game Die Hard Trilogy released in 1996. While Rika received prominent attention at E3 1999, both Thieves World and Die Hard 64 were never officially announced. However, news of Die Hard 64 eventually leaked to the press, with purported screenshots appearing in gaming magazines and an article published by IGN on June 9, 1999. There is no further information about the game until the following year when IGN contacted Fox Interactive for an update. A representative from Fox stated that they didn't anticipate the game coming to fruition. Although this announcement did not explicitly confirm the game's cancellation, it strongly suggested it, and ultimately Die Hard 64 was indeed cancelled. The late start of development with the Nintendo 64 nearing the end of its lifespan and new console generations on the horizon most likely contributed to the cancellation. Following the cancellation of Die Hard 64, Bit Studios redirected their efforts towards the GameCube. In a 2002 interview with IGN, Bit Studios revealed that they restarted the game's design for the GameCube in the spring of 2000. The game was eventually released as Die Hard Vendetta in 2002 for the GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox, receiving mixed reviews. After the release of Die Hard Vendetta, there was a prolonged period of silence regarding any updates on Die Hard 64. No additional information, including the alleged screenshots, emerged for more than 10 years. It wasn't until 2017 that the public finally caught a glimpse of the game. On February 26th of that year, a user named Tanahu posted a thread on the now defunct Assembler Games forums, showcasing previously unseen screenshots from Die Hard 64. What made this revelation even more intriguing was the fact that Tanahu had insider knowledge. As it turned out, they had been an employee at Bit Studios during the game's development and possessed 3 different Die Hard 64 ROMs. Each ROM contained a total of 8 levels, although the majority of them were either incomplete or served as test levels without proper gameplay functionality. Building upon their initial post, Tanahu later shared another thread on August 30th, 2017. In this follow-up, they generously provided a Dropbox link where people could access the 3 ROMs, rendering the game finally found after all these years.